You know, life seems to just be so unexpected. You know, things could be going good for a good while. And, the good moments just, they feel so good when they're there. But, the black pill moments are always right around the corner. And they're sticking their ugly heads out now. Life is just, it's like a roller coaster right now. I've been the happiest I've ever been in recent memory this year. This year alone has just been one of the happiest years of my life, honestly. I've had many good moments, felt things I've never felt before. I got out of this streak, and a lot of positive things have happened. I won't say that, good things haven't happened, because that would be a lie. But, it just seems like there's always going to be some bad things, too. The bad things always just seem to ruin the good things in my life. When bad things happen to me, it seems like they're not normal bad things. They're like Omega bad things. OmegaDepressedSauce type of bad things. Black pill things. And it's just like, it just makes me feel like, I really don't have control over anything in my life. I really did not want to believe that, but it just seems like I don't. It's like I just completely don't. I've tried my best. God knows I've tried. I've exhausted myself trying to improve myself, improve life, remain positive through these situations. And this year's been easier than most, that's for sure. But with these new feelings I have, everything that's going on now, it's like things hurt worse now, because I have positive things in my life now. So it wasn't like when I was just completely alone. I already felt super sad, so more sad things were just more sad things to me. But now it's like my spirits be high, and then when something happens, it's like I go lower than ever when something bad happens. And it's like I haven't felt this way in over a decade, if not longer. I haven't felt this way since being an adult. It's just like, a lot of times I just be feeling like I'm just not good enough. I just let myself down, almost 30, and this is my life. I still feel like I did when I was in high school. I still feel like I'm always the butt of the freaking joke. I'm always an annoyance to people. I feel like I'm just not good enough in any way. An example is when I try to help somebody keep their spirits up, or try to listen to people vent, try to be there for people. I feel like I'm just helpless, like I'm just an annoyance. Like, who wants to hear positive things from a guy like me? A guy like me, who goes through so much negative shit, who gets told that I have the worst fucking luck in history. It's like, People don't want to hear positive things from me. It's like when I say stuff, it's like I just get the feeling they're thinking like I don't believe that shit I'm saying myself. Because, just look at my life. My life is miserable, y'all. It's just so miserable. No matter how much I try to ignore this shit, the black pill is still there. It's still there. I don't really know if it's possible to get out this shit. Sometimes I'll be feeling very hopeful, like, I'm getting out of this. Stuff's gonna work out. Then times it just be like, I'm getting sent further down the fucking rabbit hole than I was before. I thought stuff would improve. I thought I was on my way to, finally starting my life and whatnot. But it just seems like it's like life is just making it a joke. It's like my life is just a complete joke. I really be feeling like I shouldn't exist sometimes. Like what is my existence for? Why do I go through so much shit? Why do I make people feel the way they feel? Like when people see me on site, why do they feel negative about it? Why can't I make people smile? Why do I always just make people angry? Why do I even exist? It really makes me think about life, especially when I'm here in the twilight zone all these hours, just by myself. I be thinking, why do I go through this shit? What is the purpose of me suffering in silence? Like, what's the point of this life? I don't bug anybody with my problems. I don't really vent to anybody. What the fuck is the point of my existence? What am I learning? What am I getting out of this? I get a little bit of happiness, but I get like a whole lifetime supply of just crap. My situations are always just so, it's like so fucking hard. Like, it's like I'm just living on impossible difficulties sometimes. It's just like, what lessons am I learning? Don't give up. It just really feels like I have no purpose. Like, I've been searching for a purpose in life for a long time now. When I think of my life and I look back on things, I don't feel like I'm the type of person to help people. I don't feel like people need me, want me around. I don't feel like I'm good at anything. I don't have any talents or anything. It's like, what is my purpose? Really, what is my purpose? Am I just here to be depressed, annoy people, and just eat shit and die? And just rot? Just wallow in self-pity because life is not improving? Like, what is my existence for? I still feel like a man-child. I live like a man-child. I haven't experienced life at all. Every time I think I'm getting closer and closer to experiencing life, I just get sent right back to my room, playing fucking video games, rotting. And people tell me to keep my head up and this and that. It'll work out, but you know how long these same people have been saying this stuff to me? Since I was in school. it's just like, it's getting to the point where I'm just like losing hope, y'all. I don't know what direction my life is going, because I just have no control over anything. You know, all I do is just make people want to get away from me. You know, people just don't treat me with respect. You know, I'm just considered a loser. I'm a loser at life. It's just like, I just really wonder sometimes, like, should I even be alive? Like, do I even deserve to even be living? Like, it just feels like I don't deserve anything. Like, because it's just like, all I do is disappoint and bring people down. I bring myself down. I can't make myself happy. I feel like I don't truly make anybody else happy. Like, what kind of life is this? Am I just literally just meant to be bad luck? Am I just literally meant to live a miserable life? Is that truly my purpose? It just feels like my life is just a hopeless one that'll never get better. Feels like I'll just always be in this spot in life. Like, I just can't change anything. You know, it's evident that my pops is just already seeing that. You know, he's adjusting his life accordingly, because he doesn't see any worth in me. Just like I think other people feel the same way. They don't see any worth in me. I just feel so worthless. You know, I don't know how to stay positive anymore, y'all. Like, I've tried. I've seriously tried. You know, everything's just been such a letdown, you know. Life has let me down. I've let down people, and people have let me down. You know, life has just been a letdown. I never thought life would turn out this way. I literally don't know how long of a life I'll live. I don't know what kind of life the future will be. I just don't know anymore, y'all. Like, I'm just, you know, I'm just at that point now where I just don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I don't know how to think about anything. I don't know how to feel about anything. Like, I'm just fucking here. You know, I'm here. I'm present. But I'm definitely uncertain. But I'm out, y'all. Till next video.